The Forest, 2018. Endnight Games created and released The Forest, a survival horror video game that will keep you on your toes at all times. The game is set on an isolated, densely wooded peninsula. You play as Eric Leblanc, who must battle off cannibalistic monsters while looking for his son Timmy following an aircraft accident. The game contains nonlinear gameplay in an open-world setting in the first person, with no predetermined goals or quests, allowing the player to choose their own survival options. The game was launched in April 2018 for Microsoft Windows and November 2018 for PlayStation 4. After an early access beta mode was released 4 years prior, the game was a commercial success, with over 5 million copies sold by the end of 2018. So before we get into more details, I hope you are not afraid of the dark. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. An exploration survival sandbox with cannibals. The general notion of The Forest is not novel. A plane crash lands on an apparently desolate island, and you, the sole survivor, must find out how to live. However, it isn't long until blood-curdling wails fill the darkness and blazing eyes materialize in the distance. When you realize your new home isn't as empty as it initially appears, the forest becomes a terrifying experience you won't soon forget. As you go across the island and into terrible pitch-black dungeons, enemies turn into frightening body horror figures, amalgamations of appendages that shout loud, unnerving cries. They're terrifying to look at and much scary to battle. The Forest does an excellent job of slipping these shocks in when you're already battling to keep crucial meters and resources under check. It's also crucial to keep an eye on the quality of the materials you uncover. Not every berry bush provides a non-poisonous abundance, and not every water is safe to drink. If you do not boil meat from hunting animals soon, it will spoil. None of the ensuing ailments are terrible enough to deter you from eating dodgy food if you don't have a choice, but thinking about what you eat adds another element to the hunter-gatherer gameplay. Cutting down trees for logs or locating a way to clean water is critical in your first few days on the island. Still, once you've established yourself, your focus changes to securing your position with a base and maybe sophisticated spike traps and tree swings. The sheer variety of buildings you may construct is astonishing, and luckily, the forest does not limit your creativity with enigmatic blueprints. At the same time, you're handed a notepad with outlines in it. Small wildlife and bushes will respond over time, while more giant trees will be fallen for the duration of your stay. You may quickly transform a thick forest into an open field of stumps, providing adversaries with a more precise line of sight into your activities. The more imposing you are on the island, the more violent your aggressors get. Patrols will increase, and more terrible animals will emerge from their caverns for a full-fledged attack. On the other hand, the forest does not require you to play in any specific way, so a more restrained nomadic strategy is sometimes safer and more practical. A clan of cannibalistic mutants lives on the peninsula with diverse wild species in towns on the surface and underground caverns underneath the peninsula. While they are not always hostile to the player, their typical demeanor is aggressive, especially at night. As you proceed through the game and explore the caverns beneath the forest surface, you will encounter many progressively odd mutations as well, such as malformed newborns and mutants with several additional appendages. The game also has a day and night cycle, where you can build a shelter and traps during the day, hunt animals, and collect supplies at night, and defend yourself against mutants. The makers intended gamers to wonder if the peninsula's cannibalistic tribe is the player's adversary or vice versa. For example, when initially seeing the player, the cannibals may wait to assault and instead watch the player from a distance, communicate with the player through puppets, and dispatch patrols around the player's base camp. In combat, they often try to shield one another from harm, remove torches, surround the player, hide behind cover, drag wounded tribe members to safety, preserve their distance, make tactical judgments, avoid overextending into a new area, and occasionally surrender out of terror. They are also terrified of fire and will avoid approaching the player if a bonfire or torch is close. Marvelous Gamers Review. Exploration in survival games is typically related to your immediate well-being, but The Forest has a storyline that is gradually revealed through exploration and accidental environmental storytelling. Abandoned camps are an excellent place to look for current materials and learn about past and present happenings. Putrid bones of long-dead victims are typical, but you'll also find tiny images, videotapes, and periodicals that flesh out a conspiracy centered on the island. So when it comes to survival in the forest, there's a lot to think about, but the balance between each of its interconnecting pieces keeps the game going at a thrilling pace. There is a clever answer for every peril the island presents just around the corner. Thanks to surprising opponents and captivating horror set pieces, The Forest creates a gripping mix between survival and horror that you won't soon forget. Good news! A sequel named Sons of Forest is also under development and scheduled to release in October of this year. Don't forget to like and share this video if you enjoyed it, and do comment below any games you have on your radar that you want us to talk about. See you! Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.